Hey everybody, in this video I want to go over the July 2020 dividends and covered call options that I made. My backtrack, I've got my nice under sun resistant bands. I also have a little bit of Pac-Man in my garage right now. So I'm not going to tell you till the very end, I'll just tell you immediately. I made $393.85 in total dividends plus covered calls this month, so another really good month. SPHD was $21.81. And SPHD, I've been selling a few shares of it very slowly, so that's why it's down a little bit. I've been putting it into VYM, which is a Vanguard high yield dividend. It does pay quarterly. $37.76, this is for Main Street Capital. Been steadily increasing about 25 or so cents per month because I'm reinvesting shares and getting another share and a little bit of change every month on that. KBWI 33.31. I want to pretty much maintain this position. I did add a couple of shares here and there in my covered calls, but we pretty much keep it the way it is. Realty Income 23.91. Again, this one should be increasing about 20 cents or so per month because I'm reinvesting those dividends. And here's my covered calls. I made a separate video on how to do option trades and what to look for. For Realty Income, I sold a call on the 6th of July. It's for 8.21, so I still have a little bit of time there. The price at the call was 61.1, but I sold a strike price of 67.5, so that's about 9.5 to 10% above the premium. Premium was $94, which I think is pretty good because it's a 1.53% gain. The delta is slightly higher. It was about 0.35. That means it's about a 35% chance that it might get called. The stock price of O did decrease this month, so actually the delta is going to be about lower, maybe 10 to 15 at this point. So I might consider in August to close out the position for $5 or $10 and then reopen a new one. Either that or just let it expire. SPHD, I finally sold one, although the bid-ask spread's pretty high. On the 13th, I sold it for 2 months later. The stock price was at $32.58. I sold the strike price a little bit closer in this one at $35. And right now, SPHD is near 33.5. So there's a pretty decent chance it might hit 35. I went a little bit lower the percent of a premium. I'm not ready to sell all my HPSD and put it into VYM, but I'm going to be doing covered calls a little bit closer to the strike just so I receive a little bit better premium. This month I got $54 for it. If it happens to get called, I'll probably buy back enough shares to have at least 100 shares of HPHD. I have about 150 right now. So if 100 get called, I would have to buy about 50 shares or whatever the price is at. The rest of the proceeds I'm probably going to put in VYM, which is a quarterly paying dividend. It's still a pretty good gain, even though it's 2 months out. It's a 1.66% gain because the premium was $54 compared to the price of $32.58. Main Street, I did sell recently, another 2-month expiration. So at $31.57, I sold the strike at $35. It ends up being about 11% above. Again, I'm trying to hover around 10% or so above the strike price, as long as I can get a premium about 1%. And this one, I got a $44 premium, which ends up being 1.39. Again, to find this, you take the price, $31.57, divide it by the premium, 44. That's the percent gain that you get, right? It's actually 44 divided by 31.57. So again, my goals are to get a premium percent gain of at least 1%. I want to be about 10% above the strike price. And my deltas, I want under 30. The delta was only 19 on this, means 19% chance that this might happen. So those are all my covered calls, which ends up being a pretty sizable amount of money in just covered call premiums. Newt, I'm going to receive a dividend. They shifted the dividend a month later than normal. Normally I'd be getting it in June, but I'm going to be getting it in end of July. Just 85.06. Ends up buying 4 shares more of Newt. So the total dividends this month was $393.85, much higher than it was last year because of the covered calls, because I've been buying a lot more shares over the year, and because I've been reinvesting dividends. Simple as that. $81.86 last year, $393.85. Again, it's a little deceptive because of the covered calls. Obviously, if any of those get exercised and the stock price shoots higher than that, I could have had more gains. But if that doesn't happen, this is all money in my pocket. Made a lot of purchases this month too. I think I went a little overboard, but that's the deal of it. We bought 2 shares of VYM with my covered call premium. Again, VYM is a high yielding dividend, pretty much dividend growth company. The last 5 years have been growing almost at 8% a year. So I ended up buying 2 shares of VYM, kind of stuck on my Roth IRA because I maxed it out. But what I could do is sell covered calls on the Roth IRA, that extra premium buying VYM. So I'm slowly adding to the VYM position. In my wife's Roth IRA, I bought 18 shares of Pershing Square Tontine for $380. I did a separate video on that if you want to look at Pershing Square. I bought 10 shares of Pfizer for $378. They announced with a partnership that they're getting closer to the vaccine. The stock price went up a little bit after that, but I plan on holding the position. Pfizer has a lot of good long-term prospects. I'll probably make a video of it. I bought 2 shares of AT&T, a little bit more than I normally would, but what I'm going to start doing is in my Capital One credit card, whenever I get $25 in cash back, I get 1.5% cash back on my purchases. Whenever I get $25 cash back, I'm going to buy 1 share of AT&T. Because the share is pretty close to 25, it was like 29.30. So just pitch in a few extra bucks and try to build up the AT&T position that way. I bought 3 shares of Visa for $571. 2 shares of Broadcom AVGO for $618. That was all this month. A total of $2,006 that was contributed. I think that's the biggest month I might have. That was second biggest month this year because I put in $3,400 in April. So pretty big month in adding. My savings is pretty close to my limit of where I want to be. I don't want to make it much lower than that. We also had to pay for my wife's college, which was another $1,400. But luckily, we didn't have to do it on payment plan, even though the payment plan has no interest. We just paid the whole semester at once. So don't have to worry about those monthly payments on that. We went through a whole year of paying for nursing school with no student loans. So we could do that another year. We'll be in really good shape after that. And should be about it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Like, subscribe, hit that smash button, all that good stuff. I'll be doing videos probably once a week from now on, maybe an occasional second one if I have time because the school year is starting again. And it's going to be interesting with all the virtual learning and trying to teach online, at least in the first few weeks. So have a good one, guys.